Come, my trusty Hatsy, we must tell the story of King MacArthur.
You ready?
Big news. What?
Whoa, seriously?
No pigs yet.
What? What was he doing?
Wow.
Bring him on. Beautiful.
Where did you get a sword? That is a good question. And why were you hitting together 2 pucks to make it sound like we were on a horse? Dude, Monty Python. And after the Leafs get off to a 3-0 start, most fans are already looking for the Holy Grail, which is why some of those fans might not like this video, but I'll get to that in a minute. First, I need to say Leafs win 4-3 against the Pittsburgh Penguins, giving the Leafs their first 3-0 start since 1999. To give you an idea of how long ago that was, Curtis Joseph had all 3 Leafs wins, Sundin scored 2 of the game winners, and the other, Jonas Höglander. Want some more stats? Sure you do. The Leafs haven't got off to a 4-0 start since 1993, when the Leafs won a sort of impressive 10 games in a row. Defense and goaltending was a huge problem for the Leafs last year, and the 6 goals they've allowed in 3 games so far is the least they've allowed since 2006. A big criticism of the Leafs coming into the season was that they didn't have enough offense, and the 12 goals they scored in their first 3 games is the most that they've scored since 2001. Alexander McGillney scored 4 of them, and King Clark MacArthur, pulling out Excalibur, scores 4 of his own in the first 3 of this season. You're gonna put an eye out with that thing! Colton Orr opens up the scoring for the Leafs to make it 1-0. This is the 3rd straight game that the Leafs have scored the first goal, something that they only did 30 times last year. 3 games in, they're already at 10% of that. Unfortunately for Colton Orr, after scoring that goal, he had a fight with Derek Engelland. I thought he was winning for most of the fight until he got knocked flat. And it doesn't matter what team you're a fan of, you never want to see your tough guy get knocked down, but it's a occupational hazard, I guess. Occupational hazard, yeah, let's go with that. But how about this? Colton Orr had a goal, a +2, and a fight in just a minute 46 of playing time. Chris Kunitz scores to tie the game at 1-1. That is the first time that the Leafs surrendered a lead this season. And the Pens' Game 7 hero from the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago, Max Talbot, makes the Leafs fall behind for the first time this season, scoring to make it 2-1. So the Leafs facing a little bit of adversity for the first time in this young season. And with Gustafsson getting his first start of the season, even though Jaguar won his first 2 games, you can already hear the fans. What was Wilson thinking? Jaguar should play in 83 regular season games. The only game I ever saw James Reimer play was that exhibition one against Philadelphia, but we should call him up. How about you watch the rest of the thing that you're watching? Because, okay, Gustafsson might have started a little shaky, but he stopped 22 of 25, made some huge saves when the Leafs had the lead, and he picks up the win. And the Leafs needed the monster because they were outshot 25-14, which is probably why Pens fans aren't thrilled with Marc-Andre Fleury. Because MacArthur scores, Beauchemin scores, MacArthur scores again in about a 7-minute period, and the Penguins end up losing, despite a nice Sidney Crosby goal to make it 4-3 in the last minute of the second. And now the Pens starting goaltender is 0-3. Which brings me to why you might not like this video. Leafs fans. The Leafs are 3-0. This makes you excited, yes? Why not? It's the first time in over a decade that they've done that. And the whole not making the playoffs for a long time thing. But here's the thing. The Leafs should be 3-0. Leafs goaltending stunk at the beginning of last year. They improved that. Leafs defense stunk at the beginning of last year. They improved that. Leafs offense stunk at the beginning of last year. They improved that. Meanwhile, they play Montreal without Markov or Camilleri in the lineup, and at least a couple players are sick. They play a tired Ottawa club that lost the night before. The Sens are having an awful start. And then they run into a Penguin squad with guys missing like Orpik, Michalek, and Fleury clearly hasn't found his game yet. And even though it was the Leafs' first road game of the season, it was still kind of a road game for the Penguins. It's a new building. What have they played? 1-2 more games there than the Leafs? So Leafs fans, be excited. It looks like a better team. They're 3-0. They haven't done it in forever, but keep those things in mind. Storylines to look out for going forward. Can Jaguar keep up his mini hot streak against the Rangers in New York? King MacArthur's already got 4 goals. Will he pull out Excalibur again? I'm just looking for any reason to use this in a video. And after getting humbled in a fight by Derek Engelland, will Colton Orr and Derek Boogaard square off in a clash of the Titans? Oh, and last but not least, can the Leafs go 4-0 for the first time since '93? Back when people said things like, hey, check out my new VHS player. It's top of the line. It's got auto tracking. And until next time, let's just see if the Leafs can keep up this streak. Ah!